Hello everybody and welcome back to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel. I'm And More Bus Videos, otherwise known as And More Central, depending on what day of the week and what video you're watching. And welcome back to Winterbourne High School with a different bus to what we were driving last time. We drove the Volvo Olympian last time, as you can hear. We've got a lovely sounding Dennis Trident this time with Transbus ALX400 bodywork in what is quite an appropriate livery that I will explain a little bit more about in a couple of seconds, the Vamooz livery. And in this video we're going to be taking it on the 607 school run. So we last did the 604 school run. We're making our way through the school run services now, seeing what they're all like. I mean, I've done this one is another outbound school. We'll do a couple of inbound schools as well. So we did in the last video we did the depot run, then we did the school run and then back to the depot. In this run we're probably just going to do the school run itself, and then in the other one we'll probably do the morning school run into the school, and we'll sort of keep the variety going, and then we're going on to these ones, like the one just behind us, and the Bellio bus, which will see us starting to look at the TFL runs. That's got an interesting advert on it, so it's got all the cogs on it. Oh wow. My onboard GPS tells you what time to do. Oh, that's really cool. I've never seen that livery before. That's awesome. Yes, we are doing the 607, and so not to hold up any TFL buses, because there's a second one on its way now, we'll get the vehicle moved forward. So yes, it is run by Stagecoach in the map. However, I thought we'd do the idea of going through sort of independent operators and the kind of buses that they'd operate on school runs like this. So the vehicle is in the Vamooz livery. It is the People's Bus variation of the Vamooz livery. That was People's Bus shortly before they sold it to Stagecoach. They have reactivated themselves now. Can't say I blame them. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're the People's Bus lot. So yeah, as I say, I cannot blame them for restarting the operation, using the money that they have earned from the Stagecoach sale to do what they know that they do best. So yeah, the 607 itself from here runs from Winterbourne School, goes up to Garston Manor Estate, should take us approximately 15 minutes, so one of the shorter runs that we've done. Although again, just like the other school run, we're not picking anybody up, it is just dropping off because it is a school service. I couldn't remember if these were public or not, as I remember in the original Bowdenham version 4, these services were all public. So what you could do is you'd be doing your run, and you'd get people wanting to board midway through the journey and stuff like that. So you might still get people alighting midway through, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see for when we do the other, the inbound run that we'll probably do in the next video. How we're looking for screenshotty wise. That looks quite nice, does that, with the background? Yeah, I like that. I like that with the background. There we go. There goes the 610, 609, 610s. So we do all the services that the sort of non-TFL buses do all the services. The ones I'm doing at the moment, all the ones that don't go back into Apsley, basically. So that's the easier way to understand it. So all the services that don't go into Apsley are all covered. By sort of Stagecoach in the simulator. However, it does give you a bit more freedom to put independent operators on and bits like that and have a bit more variety. So yeah, Vamooz was a concept originally based around sort of home to school services, with the idea that the school buses, predominantly old banger vehicles that were used on schools, could eventually then, over school holidays and weekends, do day trips and bits like that. Unfortunately, as a concept, it didn't work, and it didn't work on the day trip element purely because there was that much competition in the day trip market, and nice comfy coaches for the same price versus sitting on an old banger school bus to go somewhere, that unfortunately it didn't line up. That, as well as the fact that Vamooz quickly became a very enthusiast based interest for many people. So many people, the target market ended up being enthusiasts to such a degree that the last Vamooz services that were operated under the Vamooz app ended up being to showbus. So that was the level of enthusiast influence it ended up getting, that shouldn't surprise anyone, because they were using old banger school buses on like shuttles and day trips and stuff like that. So of course it was going to be enthusiast interest. There are still elements of the Vamooz op that exist. I mean, the Vamooz ended up having buses painted in by Reading buses, first Kerno, People's Bus. Who was the other one? Stage Carriage in the North East. That vehicle was then acquired by Connections Buses, and as you can probably guess, was very quickly debranded before it entered use. Very, very quickly debranded because, unsurprising to most, they didn't want to be going around advertising a brand promoted by their competitor. So that, as I say, shouldn't surprise in any shape or form that they weren't interested in advertising their competitor. So there are, as I say, still elements of Vamooz that do survive. 404, the original bus that was painted into the livery, still in Vamooz. 2702, yeah, that one is also still in Vamooz. I believe 2705 is also still in Vamooz. And they're all still in the Vamooz livery, albeit Vamooz has a very limited influence, very much Transdev only nowadays. The Vamooz bus that was painted in Kerno, 32350, has recently been withdrawn for scrap, and I don't believe any of the other operators that ran vehicles in Vamooz still have them painted in that livery now. So there is still, as I say, an influence of Vamooz with Transdev. They operate V prefixed school services in Keighley and in Burnley, and the V prefix for Vamooz is pretty much the easiest way to put it. So they've got Vamooz prefixes on them. They do operate the V1 and the V2 work services in Burnley that are also advertised and promoted as Vamooz services. So they're promoted as work services. But the idea that Vamooz was a nationwide concept that the wise Transdev management wished to start at the time, that's no longer a thing, and the day trip element no longer a thing. It's merely used in a very, very, very weak sense to run schools and selected work contracts. Nobody getting off. Don't know why I'm ringing the bell. I'll stop. Not ringing the bell. Don't know why I'm stopping the bus because nobody's ringing the bell. There we go. That's better. I do remember I was one of the lucky few, shall they say, who went on the first Vamooz trip that they did. I think it was either like £1 or something, or it was free, free to go on. And we did the Vamooz trip from Leeds to Meadowhall, and went to the shopping centre. I remember it being predominantly enthusiast-filled, that shouldn't surprise in any shape or form. It was just predominantly enthusiasts, and I remember us all jumping off the bus at Meadowhall, jumping on a tram, I believe it was, and going straight into the centre of Sheffield and then going on some buses. Lovely warm day as well from memory. Remember the bus attempting to overheat itself. So it was an interesting one. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're only 2 minutes ahead of schedule, so we're doing okay. So I thought Vamooz, as I say, the Vamooz livery was the most appropriate out of the liveries that I had available for use at the time of filming this. It was the most appropriate because, as I say, it's a school service, and that tends to be what Vamooz, if anything, it now does. Although again, I can't emphasise how limited of a concept it is now. And the person who developed it teamed up with Transdev from memory. And then when the idea flopped colossally, they ended up becoming part of the marketing team at Transdev. I don't know if they're still employed by them. But yeah, so last Vamooz bus I've been on in recent times was 32350 in First Kerno. It was on its regular school contract because 32350 was incredibly rare in service, and luckily, nobody's getting off. And luckily enough, nobody's going to get off at the industrial estate. But luckily enough, the Truro College contracts that they run are public contracts. They are open to the public. Unfortunately, nowadays, the vehicles that operate them aren't quite as exciting as they used to be. They used to have all sorts of different weapons on them. Nowadays, it's just B7s and B9s. But I did manage a ride on 32350. It showed up in Truro bus station. It was on a lunchtime run. So, hello. It was on a lunchtime run, so it was really, really quiet. I think there was about 3 or 4 students on it. A load of people jumped on the bus station, so I thought, I'm going to jump on as well. Load of locals. I'm going home, so I thought, I'm going to jump on as well. Had a little trip down the road on it to kill a bit of time between bus departures, and got the Vamooz bus in. I did quite well on that last trip that I did last year to Cornwall, because I actually managed both of the 53 plates, both LK53s that were 32350, and I believe 32353, I think it was. Was it 53? Must have been 5.3, and I managed both of them, or 5.2, something like that. I managed, basically, the Vamooz bus and the Pride bus, I managed both of them that were quite rare to get, and both of them for runs, as I say, one of them on a lunchtime college run that was open to the public, and the other one was on standard service, just one random Saturday morning. So I looked on tracker, I thought, I'll get that. Oh, don't want to zoom in that much. Is everybody off? No. Check the CCTV. There we go, let's get ourselves back to the depot. See, what's quite good about doing the school runs after doing all the other services is the fact that we've already been to these locations, we understand the local services that are there, so when we are saying we're going to a location, we do have this vague idea. Oh, there we we do have this vague idea as to where we are actually going and what have, so we do understand the context surrounding it. That, as I say, is if you have watched the other videos, if you haven't already, do go and check them out, as they do provide very interesting context as we do these school runs one by one. Very strange that you do a school run that does end up in an estate, but you do end up going through an industrial area before you get there. Very odd. Can't say I've known of that before. I do enjoy having any opportunity to drive the Trident. I do need to get more of the enhancement packs installed. I'm still running the very basic Trident, but even then, it's still a tremendous drive. This also is like that we do, I think we do the majority of the identical route back to the yard again. Again, we've gone into absolutely flooring it to get back to the yard mindset. In the exact same mindset again. I will probably also best putting that in service. There we go. Sorry, I'm not in service. People don't want to. When I go near the school, there's nobody walking out or stuff like that. Looking out for the bus. Going, no, bus isn't till tomorrow morning. I didn't see the lights till last second. I mean, at least we stopped. That's what have we learned. We've learned that Trident brakes aren't best. Tridents don't rather like locking on. Tridents like stopping in their own time. It's what we've learned. It's also doing the realistic school bus Trident thing of locking itself into gears. There we go. So yeah, so there we have a people's bus vehicle, and we are going to terminate at the Stagecoach depot. Though to be fair, this was one of the vehicles acquired by Stagecoach, so to be fair, all it is it's a vehicle operated by Stagecoach. It's ex-people's buses. That's all it is. But they've used it on a Stagecoach school run instead of one of the original people's bus runs. All it is. So yeah, there we go. There's the realism link. But yes, just like the previous video, we finish in the bus wash at Stagecoach Watton Depot. I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. If you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section with videos up to twice a week, as well as an archive of over 7,000 backseat, engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. With buses, trams, trains and more, there's something on there for everyone, with an additional 21 of those videos added every week. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.